ಪ್ರತಿಪದ ಪಾಡ್ಯ ಮೊದಲನೇ ದಿನ. ಶ್ರಾವಣ ಮಾಸದ ಹಬ್ಬಗಳ ಸರಮಾಲೆ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಬ್ಬಗಳ ಸರಮಾಲೆಯನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಸಂಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಶುಭಕರ, ಮಂಗಳಕರ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಪರಮವೇದಾಂತ ತಂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಚಿದಾನಂದಜಿಯವರ ಒಂದು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ಶ್ರಾವಣ ಮಾಸ ಹಾಗೂ ಮುಂದಿನ ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಮುನ್ನ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಸೂಚನೆಗಳು. ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಒಂದು ರಿಂಗ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಶ್ರಾಂತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಜಾಗೃತ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಗೃತ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಮುಂದೆ ನಾವು ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೋನ್ಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಸಾದದ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಡೆ ತನಕ ಇದ್ದು ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ಸ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಗೆ ತೆರಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪರಮವೇದಾಂತ ತಂಡದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವನ್ನು ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಾನಂದರಿಗೆ ದೀಪವನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೋತೇನೆ. ಅವರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಸೇರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಹಾಗೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆಯವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆವಾಹನೆ. ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನ ಕರೀಬೇಕು. ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವಂತ ನಾನೇ, ನಾನೇ ಭಗವಂತ, ಅಹಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸ್ಮಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ಬಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಠವಳೆಯವರ ಕೃತಿ. ಶ್ರೀ ಚಾರುದತ್ತ ಅಕ್ಕಲಿಯವರು ಹಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದನ್ನು. ಈ ಹಾಡಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಧ್ವನಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಇಂದುಮತಿ ಬೆಳ್ಳವೆಯವರು. ಪ್ರಭಾತ ಜಾಲಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಥ ಯಾಹೋ ಮಮ ಅಂತರಿ ಸೋಹಂ ಘೋಷಜಿ ಗುಮತರ ಹವ ಮಾನಸಕಾಭಾರ. ಇಂದು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ
ಪ್ರಭಾತ ಜಾಲಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಥ ಯಾಹೋ ಮಮ ಅಂತರಿ ಸೋಹಂ ಘೋಷಜೆ घुमतर हाव मानस गाभारी माझे माझे लोप पाहू दे तुझे तुझे उगवू दे कोणासे मी तोमी सहजपदे कळू दे प्रसन्नतेची प्रभासदोदित झळको बदनावरी सोहं घोषचे घुमत रहाव मानस गाभारी दृष्टीने बळू दे तिमिर जाऊ दे आशीर्वाद हवा अभ्यासाच्या या भजनाच्या छंद जडू दे जीवा सुमने सुमने अर्पण व्हावी कृपा करा सत्वरी सोहं घोषची घुमत रहाव मानस गाभारी राम कृष्ण तुम्ही रामतीर्थ तुम्ही तुम्ही ज्ञान देवा करुणाकर तुम्ही कृपावंत तुम्ही तुम्ही वासुदेव हरिमय होऊने आ
ದ್ವಂದ್ವನ ಮುರಳೆ ದುಃಖ ಸಂಪಲೆ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ತುಮಿ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ತುಮಿ ವಾಸುದೇವ ತುಮಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸೋಹಂ ಸೋಹಂ, ಇದು ಅಹಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸ್ಮಿ, ನಾನೇ ವಾಸುದೇವ, ನಾನೇ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ, ನಾನೇ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಯೋದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ವೇದಾಂತದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಗುರಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಗ್ರಂಥ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತು. ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತು ನಾವೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕಠೋಪನಿಷತ್ತು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಸಂಗದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲವು ಇದನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಿ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ Param Vedanta, I welcome all the seekers and invitees to this divine satsang. As all of you are aware, Param Vedanta is engaged in propagating the ancient texts to the society through its online classes under the guidance of our revered Guru, Dr. Timapeke sir. In our journey, we have conducted several retreats with great saints, have gone on some memorable yatras. We were also very blessed to have dikshas with Swami Paramarthanandaji, Swami Anubanandaji and Swami Chidananda as well. Today, we are extremely fortunate to have Swami Chidananda with us this evening. As I see a lot of new faces here, I wish to give a brief introduction of Swami. Swami Chidananda has been a speaker, writer and a teacher of spiritual topics for nearly 4 decades. He is the founder, trustee and chief resource person of VALLI Forum, a non-government organization engaged in dialogues on human values, promotion of spiritual studies and serving all life forms. Swamiji founded VALLI Forum in 2006, dedicated to self-awareness and service to humanity. VALLI stands for Flame of Who Am I. After securing a degree in engineering and an MTech from IIT Madras, and after a short stint with HCL and IIT Bangalore, at the young age of 23, he was inspired by the uplifting discourses of his mentor Swami Chinmayanandaji. He served his master's organization for 18 years from 1984 to 2002, and later was at Krishnamurti Foundation India, Varanasi for 10 years, 2003 to 2013. His thought evolved through coming in contact with the works of several great thinkers, notable among them being Ramana Maharshi and G. Krishnamurti. He presently lives in Mumbai. He travels to various places on lecture tours. He has authored a few books: Equanimity of Mind, Erase the Ego, Light on Right Living, Mukundamala, which is available on online store. VALLI Forum has now planned to set up an ashram, Gnana Shakti Ashrama, a space for spiritual sadhana which has holistic facility to provide a serene ambience for intensive sadhana and study of scriptures. Vave village near Jambulpada, Sudhagarh, Maharashtra. Spiritual seekers and philanthropic donors are hereby invited to join and actively participate in this divine task of setting up the ashram. Before Swamiji addresses us, I request Dr. Timapeke sir to give a brief introduction to this evening's satsang. Over to you, sir.
Hari Om Swamiji and my dear friends. This meeting happened because of Dr. Sucheta. We come to Dr. Sucheta's place to offer our respects to Swamiji. And whenever we had come last time, she said, instead of just having tea with Swamiji, why not have a satsang? And that's how it happened. I heard that Swamiji is coming to Bangalore. It was on Sunday he arrived in Bangalore. And how things quickly evolved. And by the time he reached, this whole program was... So, not only the program, and I requested him because in our group we are now studying Kathopanishad. In Kathopanishad, there are various vallis. And of all the vallis, Kathopanishad has got 6 vallis. And of all the vallis, personally for me, second valli has one of the most wonderful mantras. And as per our discussion, we said we will talk on mantras that resonate. Please tolerate with me for a little longish introduction. I'll begin by a few stories, and the first story is about the Diamond Sutra. The Diamond Sutra is one of the most famous Buddhist compositions. Away from here. camera can be readjusted then, because I'm speaking close to the... is it better now?
Yes.
You're talking about the Diamond Sutra. The Diamond Sutra has been the first printed book 600 years before the Bible was also printed. So the first book, and I think it is in the British Museum, the first printed book ever, the Diamond Sutra. Now, how did the Diamond Sutra come into being? When Buddha was alive, for 45 years he spoke in various places. His presence was so magnetic, so charismatic, that when Buddha was there, people were just absorbed in just his physical presence. His talk was a byproduct. When he died, suddenly they realized they have not recorded anything of his words. So they called for the first Buddhist council, and in the first Buddhist council, they empowered Ananda. Ananda was his older brother and with him for 40 years. And they said, Ananda, whatever you remember, those will be the Buddhist sutras. So the Diamond Sutra begins like this. Thus I have heard at one time. So Ananda is being so humble. He said, I do not know what my master said, but this is what I remember. And how the sutra goes, very elaborate explanation of early in the morning, the Lord woke up, and the description of how he goes to the great city of Shravasti to beg for alms. And after he has eaten and he's kept his bowl away, he comes to the place which has been arranged for him to sit, and a great description of how he is seated, no movement, very mindful, paying attention on the people in front of him. At that time, the Venerable Subhuti gets up, prostrates to him, goes around him 3 times, all detailed description of what, and then he bows down and he says, "Oh, well gone." That's how Buddha is described, the one who's gone, well gone. And another word they say is Tathagata, thus come, thus gone. The word Tathagata means we don't know from where he has come and where he has gone. How wonderful our master, because of which so much of catalytic changes have gone on us. And the question he asks us, when a person has gone on the Bodhisattva vehicle, that means when a serious spiritual seeker, how does he stand? What thoughts should come in our mind? And this was the question to Buddha. Because when you're so engrossed, you're not really in this world. You have to keep yourself in this world. And what thoughts should we have? This was the question to Buddha. And these words are extremely cryptic. It requires a guru to help you to understand the Diamond Sutra. Why I spoke so much about the Diamond Sutra? Buddhism, born in India, grew in China. The Diamond Sutra was actually first published in China, and then it blossomed in Japan. There was one woodcutter, simple woodcutter, not much of education whatsoever. So he goes to the market early one morning, and from some house, from the window, somebody is chanting a word of the Diamond Sutra. He stops to listen, and he's transfixed listening to those words. He never moved from that spot. Just listening to the words of the Diamond Sutra, it was like a thunderbolt that struck him. It is said that the marketplace closed, people went off to sleep, but he stood there. And just listening to the words of the Diamond Sutra, he became enlightened. And in the whole Buddhist tradition, his name is Huin, H-U-E-I-N, you can Google and check. And he was accepted but he had no formal training, but he was accepted because he had the grace of a Buddha. And so the Diamond Sutra, you will be surprised that the original name of the Diamond Sutra is Vajra Chetika Prajna Paramita Sutra. And although they use the word diamond, the word Vajra means what? A thunderbolt. A thunderbolt that will kill you. That is why they say Buddha is both a murderer and a mother. He'll kill you as you are. These words of the Kathopanishad by Yamadharmaraja are here to help us to die before we die. For those of us who have heard many of my stories, remember that bird story? I won't have time to tell you so many stories, but then the Kathopanishad should help us. You know, if you allow yourself, these mantras of the Diamond Sutra can hit you so hard that you are no longer yourself and a new person is born. How do we listen to these words of the Upanishads? Shravana from a guru. That means you understand the meanings of the word. But before that, if you can chant, especially the second VALLI, those mantras, if you can learn to remember, good. In traditional teaching, they say first you memorize the verses, then you go to the guru. The guru will tell you the word meaning, and then clarify your doubts through manana. And then we do a process of nididhyasana. And how do you do nididhyasana? I will give you one Bhagavad Gita verse that I like. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. Take one word or the whole sentence, and finally you will rest on one word. For me, the word is protam. I pervade everything like space. So if you take one sentence and then break down to one word, and that is how we do nididhyasanam of the Gita verses of the Bhagavad, until it shatters some sort of illusions, because Vajra, Chotika, Prajna, Paramita. Paramita is, you know what is Paramita? All the illusions should go. And it is a thunderbolt that breaks down all those illusions. Now, studying these verses, there is one verse of the Bhagavad Gita which all of us know, and if you can chant along with me, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Viyuktana Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Now, why this verse became so important after these verses of Kathopanishad? And three words touched me very much. One is the word Ananya. Second is the word Yogakshema. And the third is Vahamya. I'll touch very briefly because it is Swamiji's work. Now, there is one verse, I forget, it must be mantra number 8, my pages are somewhere else. Ananya Prokta Agatir Atra Nasti. When you are lucky to have Ananya Prokta, and meditate on the word Ananya. What is Ananya? Ananya can be seen as not other, not apart. My favorite expression, Bhagwan Ramana was asked how to treat others. He said there are no others. For a person with his vision, this is the vision of a jnani who sees differences but does not differentiate. So an Ananya Prokta is a Brahmanishta Guru. That means one who is anchored in Brahman, who's Ananya, who's not apart from Guru, who's not teaching anything else but his own autobiography. He's teaching about himself. And therefore there is no Veda, there is no difference, there is no Guru, there is no Shishya, there is no teaching, there is only partaking. And when there is no differences whatsoever, there is no difference between the teacher and the student, there is no difference between the teaching and the teacher, there is that oneness. Not that there are no differences. This Sunday morning we had gone out for breakfast and my little granddaughter wanted to wash her hands in the wash basin. So I took her to the wash basin and she was washing her hands and washing going on. I realized that she was not washing her hands but she was playing with the water. And I'm standing and waiting, and then I asked her, are you washing your hands or your hands are washing each other? Ask yourself, are you washing your hands or your hands are washing each other when you are watching? Really, are we doing, life is happening through us. Between me and my hands, there is a difference, but I don't differentiate, isn't it? This is what is called Ananya, that there is no difference whatsoever. Like you have Laila and Majnu, there is a Sufi story. So Majnu is the man, he knocks on Laila's door and she asks him, who is it? And he introduces himself. She says, go away. he's upset. Why is she refusing me to come? And after some time, very gently again he comes back, knocks on the door, and she asks, who is it? He tells his name. He said, go away. Then finally goes to a Sufi saint and says, this is my problem. How do I meet her? So he gives her a trick. Now he comes back, knocks on the door, and she asks, who is it? And her name is not Laila. He says, Laila. Oh, please come in. In this place, there is no place for two. There is only place for one. When there is true love, there is no other. Bhagavan and Bhakta are the same. So, Ananya, you can dissect and dissect until you develop your oneness. That is one word, Ananya. The second word is Yogakshema. Yogakshema comes from the first and the second. Right from the second mantra or the first mantra of the second Valli, there is that discussion on Shreyas and Preyas. There is the two parts. Every moment, on a busy day, Bangalore traffic, from wherever, all of you have why you have given up your Yogakshema and come and chosen the path of Shreyas. Normally, you are happy to do prayers. What is prayers? Yogakshema. The Manda chooses Yogakshema, whereas, the person who's Dhiraha is able to choose the path of Shreyas. So everywhere in your life you will have, do I choose the path of Shreyas, do the path of prayers? And that Yogakshema drive is so strong. After some time we don't know why we are doing what we are doing. Although we have enough for Yogakshema, but we cannot give up Yogakshema. It is these words of the Kathopanishad which will hammer on our, why am I caught up in Yogakshema? There is one verse in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. See, in the third Valli also that chariot example comes. So again and again in the Bhagavad Gita there is about choosing the right path in every moment. And in the Bhagavad Gita, when you put Krishna on the driver's seat, what is that called? Yukta Asita Matparaha. See, Arjuna did the big decision of putting Sri Krishna on the driver's seat. So, if you are able to put in the Rata Kalpana example you have, if you put Sri Krishna on the driver's seat, whenever you have a dilemma, Shreyas or Preyas, whether I should continue with Yogakshema or, for all of us, is it the path of sannyas? It may not be sannyas like Swamiji, but mental sannyas. That decision if I am able to take, that is what Yogakshema. There is one more beautiful word, Vaham, Yaha. That means I will take care of you. That is what it is normally translated as. But then I have to do a little Googling to see what is the word, the meaning of the word Vaham. And I'm sure Swamiji will know. There is one story you all know about that footprint story, about a man who had a certain vision. And in that vision, he sees a dream about his whole life. And as he goes about his life, he sees his footprints on the sand. And there are two sets of footprints. One set of footprints where he is walking, another set of footprints of God walking behind him. And as he looks at some of the most difficult periods of his life, he sees only one set of footprints. And then he turns to God and says, these are the most difficult moments of your life. At those moments, why did you abandon me? Why did you let me struggle so much? And the message, he says, those footprints you see smaller footprints and bigger footprints. Those bigger footprints are mine because I was carrying you. The word Vaham Yaham, I was carrying you. It is not that I am taking care of you. When do you carry somebody? In a hospital we carry on a stretcher. When somebody is unwell, we carry. When it's a small child, when you have to do, when Shri Krishna is promising us that I will take care of you, but still our drive for Yogakshema becomes so strong that these are the three words that I would like to touch on. My paper is not there, so my talk gets cut short. I will come to, I think, one more verse. Yeah. I think mantra number 7 or 8, which says, Shravanayapi Bahubhi Yo Na Labdha. That means, when I read that, how many people get to listen to Upanishadic mantras. I will tell you, in our own family, many people see us a little crazy doing all this study work all this time. Once in a while, when you go for yatras and all, they suddenly become interested. Oh, you are going somewhere, what is it for? And what places you are going to. But then, I don't want to join that bhajan mandali. That is the idea that people think that what we are doing. I mean, they don't even have I'm talking about close family members, thinks that we are doing some bhajan mandali work. Upanishad, they're all religious people. If it's worship temple, they're interested, but they think there's some bhajan mandali. Upanishad means they don't even know what it is. To be able to listen to those mantras or the Upanishads, those verses talk about us. I'll jump to one more verses. One verse called Asinam Duram Rajati Shayano Sarvata. That verse is magical. And after explaining, after saying that, you know what Yamadharmaraja says? Who other than me can understand all this? That means, if you can understand that, and with this help of Guru Shastra, certainly it is our birthright, we should be able to understand. It becomes Ananya. My last verse is mantra number 23, it comes in Mundaka also. I do not know how it begins. It is about Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya. By giving this sort of talks, Atma you won't get. Bahuna Nayamatra Pravachanena Labhya Namedaya Bahuna Shrutena. You may listen to any number of talks. Then how do you get it? Yame Vrunate Tena Labhya. We go to the temple and ask for so many things. Do we ask for Lord Dakshinamurti to reveal himself to us? Yame Vrunate Tena Labhya Tasya Atma Vivrunate Tanu Swami. He will reveal himself to us. That is one meaning. Second meaning is, that means, have I made my choice? One more story that comes to my mind. When Prahlada became enlightened, that means he had the darshan of Lord Narasimha, he was made king, and every time Vishnu would come and tell him, what can I give you? What boons can I give you? And he asked, I want nothing. And finally, when Vishnu came many times, he said, okay, I want all my people to be enlightened. And Vishnu Bhagavan said, I can do that on one condition. If they ask, Yame Vrunate, have they asked? You go and ask them. They're stuck in Yogakshema, they're not going to ask. So, that is one meaning. Second meaning is, now if he decides to reveal himself to you, then helplessly you will get that knowledge. We are those privileged people where he has decided to reveal himself to us. Shri Gurubhyo Namah.
First of all, I am extremely delighted to be amidst all of you. Most of you and I have met, but it's a long time since we came together like this. I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate the sattvic energy in all of you, enthusiasm. For years, Param Vedant has been running, and it is delightful to know the progress you have been making in your Vedanta studies. Keep it up, I would say, and I compliment Dr. Hegde and other key workers who contribute to this beautiful activity. There is a line in one of the Shanti mantras. It's in another Veda, not Yajurveda. All the same, I'm going to recite that whole Shanti mantra. When I recite, especially note, there is a line. Anena adhitena Ahoratran Sandadhami. A beautiful line. Anena adhitena means with this kind of study, spiritual study. Ahoratran Sandadhami. I bring together day and night. Which implies, it's a poetic way of saying, day and night I will keep studying with no break. Let this deep spiritual study occupy me all the time. Not once in Amavasya and once in Purnima. Anena aditena ahoratram sadhana. It's a Shanti mantra less known. Vang me manasi pratishtita, mano me vachi pratishtitam, aviravi irma edhi, vedasya maani staha, shrutam me ma prahasi, anena bhitena horatran sandadhami, ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, Tanmamavatu, Tadbhaktaramavatu, Avatu Mam, Avatu Bhaktaram, Avatu Bhaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As I especially highlighted that one line, there should be a spirit of being engaged continuously with greater involvement. Then these studies will cause unbelievable results. I am delighted to get this opportunity to do some loud thinking on Kathopanishad. When Dr. Hegde said, let us dwell especially on the second VALLI. I did not remember at that moment all that is found in the second VALLI, but later on, when I looked at it, I was convinced, yes. In 25 mantras, on the second of the 6 VALLIs that constitute Kathopanishad, everything is covered. Everybody will have something that seems to just relate to them. Oh, this mantra is for me. This mantra is for me. That kind of feeling comes about. Out of the 25 mantras which are there in the second VALLI, it's not easy to select. In fact, I began saying, let me take 4 or 5 and then elaborate. But as I looked at the mantras, I can't leave this out. I can't leave this out. Oh, this of course I cannot leave. Therefore, I got some 11 of them selected. First of all, I would say that there is this mantra, which is the last one I selected. I would mention that first, because from my own personal experience also, I would say that the message of that 23rd mantra, rather 24th mantra, 23rd he quoted, I will come to that also, Yame Vaishavravate, but 24th gives us a kind of a warning. Don't compartmentalize Vedanta into one area and rest of life into another area, meaning do anything in the rest of your life, but once a week or twice a week, get into Vedanta, then done. Now I can do anything. Once Puja Swami Chinmayananji roared, he generally roared. I would say he generally either roared or whispered. He rarely spoke. Either raise the voice or lower the voice. That's how he somehow made large numbers take interest in the Vedanta. So once he said, little bit lashing at Christianity in a certain context. Ours is not a Sunday religion. Ours is not a Sunday religion. Because somebody must have said, look at Christians, every Sunday they go to the church. And we don't do that. So his retort was, ours is not a Sunday religion. It's a 24/7 religion. And he amplified it in his own way. Now the 24th mantra, it goes, Na virato duscharita, na shanto, na samahitaha, na shanta manaso vapi, pradnane nainam apnoya. That's the whole mantra. But take just the first line. Na avirataha duscharita. If you and I in our life have something which our own conscience says, I should not be doing this. Something, some conduct in privacy or in relationships. Sometimes we may do something when we are just by ourselves, but that also may bring us down. Sometimes we do something in relationships, we hurt someone, we disappoint someone, we don't keep the word we have given to someone, and so on. Then later we feel, I promised her, but I did not keep my word. About privacy, nobody is watching. I sleep as much as I like. I take 3-4 packets of Haldiram Namkeen and go on gobbling. And after that, now I better study some Vedanta. I give simple examples. The Upanishad says, unless you become very alert and stop such things which cause remorse in you, be conscientious. Listen to your conscience. Now the big question is, we tried all that, but somehow some of the habits don't go. In the Jnana Yoga, it's not just deciding, okay, tomorrow onwards I won't do that. That deciding has a place. But in Jnana Yoga, Jnana means light. Light means awareness. When you have certain tendencies to do things which all along have caused regret later, right there, even as the tendencies arise, an urge arises, even as my hand goes to the bottle in which some chaklis are there, and not one, at one go it tries to take 2 out. Jnana means light, awareness. Can I be aware of the movement of the hand? Can I be aware of the mental movement? In that awareness, not by repeating some words, but in the light of awareness, in the flame of awareness, the hand will come back. It is said very rightly that spirituality is above all living in constant self-awareness. All the time you and I should not only be aware of what we do, but also of certain motives. Or maybe sometimes I do something because of some fear. Am I aware of a certain fear which made me do whatever I did? So on lower, deeper levels, there are likes, dislikes, attractions, aversions, attachments, possessiveness. A lot of psychological factors are in force, are in move. If we notice them, then changes begin to take place. Navirato duscharita, that mantra says, unless you withdraw from wrong things, you cannot come upon this enlightenment. Before I move to the next selection, let me tell you, this is not to frighten anybody. In fact, to be aware is actually very simple for you to do. To be aware is actually your nature. You are of the nature of Chit. Vedanta is never tired of saying that you are Sat Chit Ananda. What does Chit mean? It's your nature. Chit is consciousness. Therefore, whether it's a matter of putting my hand into a bottle to take out some delicious eatables or whatever, if we are paying attention in that awareness, which is our nature, we don't have to attend some workshop. We don't have to order an awareness from Amazon. I am a little low in, like when you are low in some vitamins or some other, then you gobble some tablets. Here, awareness is your nature. So be yourself. Once Nisargadatta said, Nisargadatta Maharaj, whose dialogues were made into a book, I am that. He said, I don't ask anybody to become like this or become like that. I just want them to be themselves. People like him always talk on a higher plane. When he said, be yourself, he was hinting at, be aware. Because awareness is truly yourself. What you imagine yourself to be, this is me, is some memories at work. Some good memories come, you think high of yourself. Some unpleasant memories come, you shrink and feel low about yourself. That's all play of mind. No matter what thoughts and emotions come, you are all the time of the nature of awareness. Be that. Now at the very beginning of this second Valli, Yama says to Nachiketa, this concept of Shreya and Preya that runs into 2 or 3 mantras. For quickly pinpointing that, let me take the second mantra. Shreyascha preyascha manushyam etaha tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyaso granite preyo mando yogakshema granite. Granite means chooses. Dhiraha shreyaha granite. Time and again, how do we translate dhira? In Kannada, dhairya means courage. Dhira is not just courage, brave. Dhira is wise and bold. Wise and brave. It requires intelligence. If you and I are intelligent and brave also, we have the courage of conviction, then in tempting situations, we will be able to withdraw, step back. Yeah, I have spoken like that and later regretted. I have done that and I have regretted. I don't want to make the same mistake again and again. Long back I heard the well-known saying, to err is human, to forgive is divine. But I had a mischievous friend who twisted it. To err is human, to err again is more human. Never buy into such distortions. For a little fun, humor, it's okay. But to err is human, and to learn from our errors and stop erring is the hallmark of intelligence which humans have. We don't go by just a certain prakriti. We change. We can change. All our life we might have been of certain kind, but we could change. We could be better. All that rises from awareness. Therefore, opting for what is good and letting go of the habitual tendencies to do what is bad, which could be attractive, is highlighted. Therefore I said, this Valli has things for everybody. Someone is able to think on the plane of right and wrong, this Valli says, what is right? To think about a certain option and question, will it make me say tomorrow, I I did the right thing? Or will it make me say next day, oh my God, I again faltered? And then choose that option. This is the business of dharma and adharma. And then you also have certain, not even whole mantra. If you just take some quarters, pada as we say, the mantra has 4 quarters. So, considering the less time we have, I would go for just a pada in another mantra, and that is in the 5th mantra there is this expression, andhena niyamana yatha andha. Andha means blind. In this world, alas, even those who enjoy great social status, who might be having a lot of educational qualification, who might be having much wealth with them, etc., they too are generally not wise. They too are so mechanical. They too are so habit-driven. They too are unable to leap to a higher level of consciousness. They too go by what is the latest trend. They too choose something where quick applause, quick support, quick admiration comes. They too don't examine. Therefore, this Sanskrit phrase in this Kathopanishad, which then goes to all languages, it's nothing but the blind leading the blind. The blind leading the blind. If you and I re-examine the way we live, the professions that we are, into, and every profession has some darker sides, I need not elaborate. Every industry, every business, every vocation, everywhere. Even the spiritual gurus also can, go astray. Everywhere, if you and I want, we can turn our work, daily work, into another exploitation, another form of bamboozling people. If everybody does it, we also do, nobody would comment. But a conscientious person examines, am I just doing things, just going by what is done by everybody? Am I behaving like sheep? The sheep just follow, right? If the sheep in the front go and fall off a cliff, all sheep go and fall off a cliff. Andhena niyamana yatha andaha. Blind leading the blind. So that's also a caution. And Dr. Hegde also made a mention of a very beautiful mantra which has multiple meanings, and that is, let me take just the expression, Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Several meanings. Ananya prokte. Prokte means when said. When the truth is said or truth is given out in the form of ananya, the truth that you need to realize is not anya, it's not other than you. That's one meaning. Another is, truth is said, prokta, by a guru who is established in Brahma. In that highest truth, he is anchored or she is anchored. All the ladies here are as much qualified for Brahma Jnana as the men. In Brahma Vidya, there is no distinction of gender. It's the common language around the world. English or Kannada, Portuguese or Spanish, or any language, somehow for thousands of years, it has been pro-male, and it's so difficult to change it now. Therefore, in my talk, sometimes suddenly I use she instead of he. And I typically see some eyebrows going up. Who is he talking about? If I say a man makes this mistake, it's okay. If I say a lady goes does it, which lady is he having in mind? I try to do a little bit of neutralizing the language-ridden bheda. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. The Guru is anchored in Brahma. For him, Brahma is not something other than him. So, and then Ananya, which comes, I guess, some 11 times in Bhagavad Gita, also has this meaning. When Vedanta teachings are given, shared in classes, promoting a spirit of single-pointedness. Ananya Bhakti. You are devoted to Krishna and Krishna is everything for you. Single-pointed devotion to your Ishtadevata. Ananya Bhakti, Avyabhicharini Bhakti are talked of. Therefore, if in the spiritual activity of you and me, there is an enhanced amount of single-pointedness, then Gatiratra Nasti. What does Gatiratra Nasti means? There is no way other than you are getting enlightened. You are caught. Therefore, it is said sometimes when you rise to a certain level of inner purity and the right teacher comes to your life, you are like someone caught in the jaws of a tiger. That expression is given. If you are caught in the jaws of a tiger, you are finished. Don't say we didn't come this evening here to get that dark message. We are finished. Let me hastily clarify. You are finished means your ego is finished. Your sorrow is finished. Your fundamental mistake of taking yourself to be something which you are not, that is finished. Therefore, here the expression you are finished is highly complimentary. Don't imagine, oh my God, we came this evening and we were told you are finished. No, when spiritual teachings are delivered in right way, with cooperation of both student and teacher, right? Sahaviryam karavavahe. When that happens, there is no other destination than enlightenment. Anyagati na sambhavati is not possible. In yet another expression, it is said, Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. That's how the mantra number 9 begins. What it means is, tarkena, and by context it is shushka tarkena, or tarka matrena, by merely being very logical, by merely exercising a sharp intellect, Brahmajnana doesn't come to you. Tarka matrena. For by its very nature, Brahma is above reason. Radha Krishnan said, religion is not against reason, religion is beyond reason. Vivekananda in those good old days, I wonder how he knew about infrared and ultraviolet. Maybe there was some finding already at that time. He said infrared also is darkness, ultraviolet also is darkness. But natural, normal eyes cannot know the distinction. Normal eyes are sensitive only to these 7 frequencies: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Further down, there is infrared. Further above, there is ultraviolet. Both are darkness to our eyes. But certain special instruments will clearly say, this is ultraviolet, higher frequency, this is infrared, lower frequency, right? Likewise, there could be a confusion, but once we are awakened, so it's not merely by logic. So Radha Krishna would say, spirituality is not against reason, it is above reason. Something which is above reason sometimes may be mistaken as this is illogical. is above logic. So the place of logic, logic has a place, reason has a place. All the more in Jnana Yoga. In Jnana Yoga, being able to reason out something. Viveka Chodamani uses an expression, Uha Poha Vichakshana. Uha means guessing what is possible. Apoha means dismissing what doesn't look reasonable. Uha Apoha, Sandhi, Uha Poha Vichakshana. Such a person is a good candidate for Vedanta study. Viveka Chodamani says. In another mantra, 12, there is an interesting expression. One who knows the pure self, Adhyatma Yoga Gamena Dhiraha. And then there comes an expression which can baffle beginners. Harsha Shokau Jahati. Shokam Jahati. He puts an end, he says goodbye to Shoka, sorrow. It is understandable, all of us want to do that. We want to put an end to sorrow. But this mantra says, Harsha Shokau Jahati. That means Harsha, happiness also is gone, joy also is gone. Harsha means joy. Harsha is in all Kannada, in all our languages. North Indians also say, हमें बहुत हर्ष होता है ये बात जानकर. Knowing this, harsha is happiness. Ayo, Vedanta takes away harsha also. Then will we become so dry, no feelings, no emotions, like vegetable existence? No. That's why we should know the context, and that's why a guru is emphasized. A guru gives appropriate interpretation. Both harsha and shoka here are applicable to ego. Egoistic elation. My daughter, his daughter, her daughter, all three are competing. And my daughter won the prize, let us say. Aha, so happy I am. Part of my mind says, actually she did not perform well. I am wondering how she got good mark. But doesn't matter. My daughter got the prize. When this my comes in, there is a lot of elation which has I, me and my in it. That no more is the matter, is the case with spiritually enlightened people. Same way Shoka. When I, me and my house got stoned, my book did not sell well, my something. So if somebody else's house was stoned, there is one festival, right? Holy festival. Nowadays the practice is reducing, but in olden days in small towns, one day before the Holika Dahan, boys would go and throw stones at houses. They would collect, they would steal pieces of wood from here and there and light up the fire. So it is said somebody was proud owner of a house with a lot of glasses, and holy time he used to have one or two security guards to chase away such boys. In spite of it, one stone would fall on his glass pane and it would hurt him as though the stone fell on his heart. And as time would pass, he sold his house. Somebody else became the owner. And next to Holi, again some boys came and the glasses of that house were broken. This man was there nearby. And he said, when the stone fell on that glass, what musical it was. If it's somebody else's house and the glass pane of that house, it's musical when stone falls. If it's my house, my glass pane, oh, there is no law and order in this country anymore, and so on. That kind of ego-based elation and depression are not there. To complete that idea, even when you are enlightened, you will be happy seeing a rainbow. You will be happy when you watch a little girl dancing. Whether it's your granddaughter or somebody's granddaughter, you don't even know who she is. Wow, that was superb and so nice. Likewise, you're walking by and an auto hits a 10-year-old boy. You don't know whether who he is, Hindu or Muslim, Christian or what. But it's a very saddening episode. You feel sad. Oh my! I was hoping the auto would not touch that child, but the auto hit. Oh my God, there is blood. Let me see whether I can take that child to a nearby hospital. Without even knowing, without any. So, joy and sorrow do not vanish from you when you have the highest wisdom. The egocentric celebration and the egocentric mourning, they disappear. Once more I should say, a regular study of Vedanta sensitizes us, gives us an ability to see life from newer angles of view. That is where the ego starts melting. Not by some mechanical practice, not by simply knowing more and more mantras which we might recite without looking at a book and so on. Knowing mantras, knowing recitations, Gita chanting, etc. They have a place. We should never disrespect that. Some of us do that. We become so intellectual, we don't want to be involved in all these things. But that's not right. You might be mainly operating on certain higher philosophical ground. But the society needs all these. Children need to be taught to chant Gita, Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam. People recite. It has its own place. So, on higher level, it's not how many mantras you know, but how mature are your responses to situations. It is more insights, not even words, not even ideas, but it is certain insight. By insight is meant something very fresh, something comes from your deeper intelligence. It is said, I will not go more into it, that could be a topic some other time when we get together. There is something called intelligence beyond mind, intelligence beyond thought, intelligence which is not the product of accumulative thinking, step-by-step thinking. In science, in the phenomenal universe, intelligence operates like that. Go from A to B, B to C, C to D, then you arrived. But you are of the nature of pure intelligence. Why do you need this intellect and all its acrobatics? Actually, you have deep inside you the capacity to see a situation and in a manner which could surprise you yourself, you would know what is to be done. It's something real, something like, always we have believed in our country, in our tradition. There were rishis and munis. Somebody walks in, just looking at him, the rishi knows the whole life of his. In the 19th century, Swami Vivekananda was sitting at a table writing some book, and a white lady, I don't remember her name, in Germany or somewhere, she walks in. And very hesitantly, with much trepidation, she steps in. So somebody said, go, he is available, door is open, and he will welcome you. She goes in, but she sees that his head is down, he is writing something. And then she is in for a surprise. Without lifting his head, without seeing her, he stops writing and goes on saying so much about her life. It is recorded. And she is shocked. He didn't even see me. He did not even ask me, what's your name? Where did you come from? Nothing. And I have never met him, he has never met me. So Vivekananda says a lot of things about her. And at the end of it, he looks at her, come, take a seat. So there is in you and me, we are not talking about Vivekananda, that is just an example. Every one of us, if we arrive at certain order in daily life, certain purity of mind, will have certain unbelievable capacities rising in us. Where was I? Other day, somewhere I spoke. Yes, in Bombay, in a Rotary Club. Our topic was on artificial intelligence. Human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and beyond. So in the last 5 minutes, I had to touch beyond. I spoke 10 minutes on human intelligence, some 25-30 minutes on artificial intelligence. Then because the topic says human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and beyond. So I just mentioned sometimes people have exhibited powers to know things, and not only others are astonished. How did she come to know? She herself is astonished. And at the end of it, the president, a lady of the Rotary Club, said to me, "Swami, I wish you had elaborated more on that beyond." I said there was not much time also. Then 4 or 5 of us gathered at the treasurer's house for some prasad. And again the lady, the president of the Rotary Club, he said, "Swamiji, I must share with you from my childhood onwards." She gave several incidents where she also doesn't know how. Some words came from her. To give an example, she said, as 5 or 6 of us were hearing her, "I once looked at my mother and I said to her, in Maharashtra, I means mother, I don't think you will touch 60 years of age. You will die before 60. That's what she meant. Her mother felt very awkward. And she also felt, how did these words come from me? And that mother died at the age of 58. So she narrated how that death also happened. Like that, 3, 4. Then I smiled. After my talk there at the club, you said you would have liked me to elaborate on beyond. For you, there is no need. You have experienced. Whereas I only may share something I read in books. You have experienced. You have exhibited. You have displayed intelligence beyond mind in so many of your utterances. So, we are not talking of Vivekananda or that Srimati Kolladkar, the president of one of the 70 or 80 Rotary clubs in Greater Bombay. We are talking of what is hidden in you and me. Don't seek it, don't seek any power, but get going with your true spiritual practice. If certain powers arise in you, smile at them. Don't be proud. Because that's supposed to be a trap. These are supposed to be quite a trap too. So, harsha shoka ujahati. There is a certain way of being, way of living, in which we do not give undue importance to my child, my house, my composition, my speech, my poem. Whereas in the egoistic living, oh my God, how much we are consumed by this I. I once read somewhere, somebody had a habit of saying, that's mine, I know her, he is not to me, oh she is not to me. And once that man was coming back from office and nearer to his house, there was some crowd and apparently the crowd was looking at something in the center, they had circled. And he wanted to know, what is it? What are they all watching there? So he tried to make his way, but they were not giving him way. Then he said, what are you all watching? What is there at the center? A big crowd in circular arrangement. They just looked at him but somehow he figured out that there is a death. And all of them are looking at death. Then he had a plan. I know how to get away. He said, hey, give me way, give me way. The one who had died is my brother, give me way. Immediately they gave way. If it is his brother, we should give way. He goes in, it was a donkey who had died. brother, it is my brother who died. It is my. This I, me and my can vitiate, can spoil the quality of our thinking. Arsha Shogo Jahati. Now, any treatment of second valli would be utterly incomplete if I do not refer to Nachiketa rewording his request for the third book. Earlier in the first valli, he had very vaguely said, when someone dies, some say something remains, some others say nothing remains. I would like to know, yayam prete vichikitsa manushye asti ityeke nayam asti iti chaitya. There is a mantra. The same third moon. In third moon, he wants to know about, is there something way above what we know generally about ourselves? I have a body, I have a mind, I have an intellect, I have senses, I have my karma, I have punya, I have papa. If you were to make a list of all the answers that we have with us to the question, who am I? There is a long list. I am her daughter, I am his mother. So many. Who am I? I am so and so in profession. So Nachiketa wanted to know, that's all okay on the transactional level. Spiritually, who am I? So that in the 14th mantra of this second valli, there is an unbelievable question. A student asked that. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat, krita akritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, yattat pashyasi tad vada. O Yama, vada, tell me, if you see it, is there some truth which you behold, which is other than dharma and adharma, beyond right and wrong, which is other than cause and effect? Krita means effect, akrita is cause here. Which is other than past, present and future. By implication, he is asking about a truth that is untouched by the phenomenal universe. The phenomenal universe is marked by space and time, and one more, causation. Space, time and causation. Desha, Kala and Karana Karya Bhava. The seed is the Karana, the tree is the effect, Karya. The tree in turn produces so many seeds. They are the Karana, then another tree. Chicken and egg. Which came first? Chicken. Somebody approached Mullah Nasruddin, it seems, once. I asked some tough question, will you answer? He said, I will answer any question of yours, but one condition. I will answer it, then you should not ask me again anything. She said, all right. Then she asked Mullah Nasruddin. In this example, he is a wise man. Some other places he is utterly foolish. So she asked, which came first, chicken or egg? Of course, egg. She said, how do you say that? I told you, you can't ask another question. Matter is over there. Don't ask how. So, Karya Karana Bhava. This entire universe, outside and inside. Inside also. When someday we are feeling low, we start looking for the cause. Why am I feeling so low? Is it some wrong food I ate? Or is it that phone call which came and after I took the phone call, I felt depressed? You want to find the cause and effect. But Nachiketa says, Krita, Akrita. Krita is effect, Akrita is cause. And time, Bhutacha, Bhavyacha. Bhavya means future. Bhuta is what is over. By implication, Bhuta, Vartamana and Bhavishya. And by one more extension, this mantra means beyond space. Vedanta has always held the position that Maya generates space, time, causation. You have studied Dakshinamurti Stotra. where in the second shloka, I think, Shankaracharya writes, Dakshinamurti is that truth which, using Maya in its hands, generates space, time and Maya kalpita desha kala kalana vaichitra chitri kritam. At the last, Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurti. You are the Mayavi. You yourself are above space and time. But using Maya, which is in your hands, you, like a magician, creates a magical scenario. Maya kalpita desha kala kalana. This was said many hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. If you believe Shankaracharya lived in the 8th century, it's about how many? We are in 21st century. So 13 centuries ago. And it was only last century that Einstein started questioning the absoluteness of time. He said time is not absolute, it's relative. He said space also is not absolute. Space could be curved. It's difficult for us to imagine what is meant by a curved space. Because in space, a sheet of paper could be shown as curved, or it can be shown as straight. Space being curved, even with my science background, I need to refresh of that thing. There is some logic behind it, or how they call space curved. Gravity is explained through that insight. That space is curved, and wherever a heavy Jupiter, a big heavy planet is, space gets curved. And gravity is how you send a ball, and if there is a dip, the ball goes down. Like that, other planets could get attracted. It's because of the curved space. If the curved space were not curved, on this floor is even, the ball will just go. Otherwise, ball goes down. Any book, any little article on what did Einstein mean by space being curved, it will give you those. Now, Swami Gugalananda has enough to tell you. I need not elaborate further. So, Nachiketa's question itself is amazing. And to quickly mention a couple of other things. Om is after all. Om is given a very important place. Nachiketa asks, is there something which is untouched by space, time, causation? And Yama says, there is, and it is Om. Om ityeta sarve vedaha kalamamananti. That which all the Vedas praise, that which all tapasvis seek, seeking which people exercise brahmacharya and many other disciplines. There is something desiring which so much of spiritual practices are taken up. And that truth, there is such truth. And let me tell you what it is. Om. Om is here. Then there are some mantras in the same section praising Om. Om itself is the higher truth. Om itself is the lower truth. Om is everything. Om, Omkara, is praised in all the Upanishads. Pretty much all. Kathopanishad says, use the Omkara as a bow and place your mind as the arrow and send that arrow towards the absolute truth. Pranavo dhanuhu sharohi atma brahma tal lakshyam uchyate, and so on. So Om comes in Kathopanishad. And to quickly mention, there is the mantra Najayate mriyate va vipaschit. In Gita 2nd chapter, slightly changed. Najayate mriyate va kadachit. 1 or 2 words different. Then another mantra has, Na hanyate anyamane sharire. Na hanti, na hanyate. The truth that you really are can neither be killed or injured, nor does it injure anybody. But when we are acting egoistically, we take ourselves to be this, that. Others hurt us, we also hurt others. We hurt when we are riding a wave of ego. We heard even people who have done a lot for us. Ungrateful. We say to them, get lost. Who are you? You are saying that to me? The person says, I say get out. Later we say, oh my God, how did I behave like that? My ego was so strong. I was so unkind to my own mother or sister, brother or someone who had done a lot for us. So you hurt. Anyate and harti doesn't have to be taken as kill only. Hurt. We hurt people because of this bad thing called ego in us. And we get hurt also because of ego. And enlightenment is a state of erasure of ego. This sum and substance, the essence, the crux of the matter of all Vedanta studies is to understand the falsity of ego and to get glimpses of our own being without any ego. Our being able to live in the present. Generally, memories of the past come and we feel low. Some other memories come, we feel high. Why do you allow memories to toss you up and down? Be in the present, be aware, be alert, put things in their proper place. There's a time to go into what happened last year. And there is a time to think about how we may handle a situation which is going to arise next month. There's a time. But an untrained mind goes into past and future without rhyme or reason. You go on a wonderful tour to VALLI, beautiful place, let us say. There, suppose your mind thinks about what happened in Chickpet in Bangalore. When was that? It was sometime back really, 2019, December 14 or something. So, such a beautiful place with some good friends. I'm not talking of any particular person. All of us, right? We have a tendency to go down the memory lane, and if it's a pleasant memory, rise on a wave. And if it's unpleasant memory, relive that insult, relive that guilt, relive the sorrow. Oh my God, I was so foolish. Even chest pain begins right away. Chest pain caused by a memory in which you invest. If you have alertness, the memory rises, don't fight with it. Watch the memory quietly. Memory rises, memory goes. There is no chest pain. If more and more people go like this into Vedanta in a right way, there will be so less of heart problems and cardiologists will complain against me. Because of a lot of people living Vedanta these days, cardiac arrests have reduced. Yes, Vedanta can promote not just cardiac health, all kinds of health. Therefore, friends, without going long on and on, I have pretty much covered the Yame Vaishvarunate was taken up a single pointed. Yam Eva. Yam Vrunute means when you choose truth. Yam Eva in Sanskrit means you choose truth and truth only, without any exception. I want to know truth. Like Nachiketa himself was offered so many other boons. Ask for wealth, ask for long life, ask for people who come running at your beck and call, serve you. Ask for apsaras, ask for swarga, a long list of. But Nachiketa says, I don't want any of them. I want to know the truth of my existence. So, that is Yame Vaishvarunate Tena Labhyaha. In other words, friends, this second VALLI, once more I would say, has lower teachings to help us live more righteously, higher teachings to appreciate heights of philosophy which are not just theory, which can make a change in the content of our consciousness. In fact, let me say, if you contemplate more and more on Atma with proper guidance, that itself purifies your mind also. Generally we say do some japa, tapa, puja and paropakara, help people, and then your mind becomes pure. With that your mind think higher philosophy. Yeah, true in some cases, or maybe majority of cases. But by God's grace or by Purva Sanskara, suppose you have the ability to think about the higher philosophy with lot of attention, with lot of appreciation, with lot of understanding, then that contemplating on the Shuddha Asamsari Atma, non-transmigrating Atma, not the Atma which is born and which rebirth, etc. The word Atma is used for Jivatma, which it has multiple births. Vedanta talks about a certain truth which also is called Atma. Therefore, to distinguish it, we say Samsari Atma. Samsari means going from one birth to another. When you pray, may somebody dies, may he get Sadgati. Then the reference is to that Jiva. But the Shuddha Atma, which hardly anyone realizes, but all of you have the potential to realize it, then have no birth, no death. That is light, pure awareness. So if you meditate on that, then that can give you even the sadhana, chatushtaya and so on. But generally not many are capable of that. But never dismiss yourself. Don't think that you got to know some Sanskrit, or don't think that you got to be born in some Shastri family of Shrangeri or somebody. All that is meaningless. Irrespective of your background, irrespective of your caste, gender, irrespective of your educational qualification, irrespective of how much Sanskrit you know or whether you do not, all of them, if you have a certain eagerness and divine grace responds to it, in most unexpected scenario, a lady or a man could rejoice in thoughts about the pure self. And then even kama, krodha, lobha, moha and tendency to worry, tendency to be nervous, etc. They are all impurities of the psychology. All of them get cleansed by your contemplating on the pure self. We salute Lord Yama for giving us such a marvelous teaching in this Kathopanishad. I compliment and congratulate all members of Param Vedanta and so many others who have come. All of you, everyone here. May your spiritual studies and sadhanas progress beautifully. May you be able to live this higher wisdom. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.